afternoon, everyone. It's Letitia with Blue Heart Crochet. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here. Anyways, I'd like to welcome everyone back. If you're new, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, thank you for sticking around. I am like 24 subscribers to hitting 200. 200. Anyways, most people go 24 from hitting 24,000. But anyways, welcome and thank you for sticking around. So anyways, let's start with something I discovered yesterday while I was at the local Dollar Tree here in town. Hold on. Okay, so I was at the local Dollar Tree looking for some stuff, and I was going up and down every aisle, and I went up and down the craft aisle, and Lord and behold, I went to look at the yarn just to see what they had. Same stuff, but anyways, I happened to come upon this Poly-Fil. That is a first. Now this is a 10.5 ounce bag, and it was $3. But the closest Walmart that I can get to is about 2+ hours away. So this is a big plus for me, at least while I'm here in this area. So anyways, yes, I found Poly-Fil for $3. If I'd have gone to the Walmart, it would have cost me $6-7 for, I think the bag is just a little bit bigger than this for your average bag, but 10.5 ounces is not bad, which is 297 grams. So yeah, the local Dollar Tree here in my area has Poly-Fil. I am so pleased because now I can continue to make more amigurumi items and go from there. So a plus for the Dollar Tree here in my area. Okay, now on to the crocheting section of this video. If you hear some humming and stuff, it's my air conditioner. It's about the only quiet place I can be in. And anyways, so on to crocheting. I had purchased this book at the Joann's up in Lubbock, Texas, before it went out of business. And it's all acrylic based yarn, or she'll tell you what kind of yarn to use and stuff. DK, 4-weight, and all that. So I did make I've made the puppy dogs in here, and then I do have another pattern I made. However, I forgot to take a picture of it, but I did make this one, Lacey Lamb. So anyways, I did make that, and I did gift it to my sister-in-law that is ill. And so anyways, I did make that as one of my crochet items that I did. Okay, on to the next one. I also made this teddy bear. I made two, and I will put a picture of the blue one that I made, but that was also gifted. And this bear is a pattern by space_ami_ on Instagram. It's a free pattern. I used acrylic yarn. She has it with plush yarn, but this is how mine came out, and I liked it. I'm trying to use up a lot of acrylic, so it's a cute little bear. I like the pattern. Everything was good. I could understand everything about it, except the placement of the legs and the arms. She doesn't, specifically tell you what rounds, I don't think. So when I did the blue one, it came out a little bit better. It sits a little bit better. So anyways, like I said, I'll put a picture up here of that. And then other than that, and then she doesn't call for this, I added that on there. I think the only thing she had on there was the deco on the little paws. I think it's her slippers. And then I made a blue one so it could be a boy toy too. But anyways, very cute pattern. I really enjoyed it. And again, it's by space_ami_ on Instagram. Okay, the next one, I'm going to keep moving right along with this, is these two. I freehanded this. They're cherries, and again, they're made, well, they kind of look like tomatoes, really. But anyways, again, I'm trying to use up some acrylic yarn, and I whipped these up this morning, and so I made these two. I think the color red is a little bit bright, but anyways, it's cherries. So like I said, I just make them up freehand, no pattern, nothing. If you know how to make a round ball, you make a round ball. If you don't need a pattern for that. And then the leaf, the same way. I just did a 7 single crochet, chain 7, then a single crochet, double crochet, or half double crochet, 2 double crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and both sides. And this I only did one part of it, so you only have the one. So, but those are the cherries I made freehand. Okay, on to the next. And then I made this tiny little turtle. It is tiny. This I just whipped up. I've been using the let's see, NoCatchyNameHooke. She's on Instagram and YouTube, and she is one of my top followers that I like to follow. It's GoingCrochetzy, NoCatchyName, and lamavee. Those are my go-to gals. So anyways, not that anybody else doesn't do it for me, but they usually they inspire me a lot, younger women and stuff. So, but this is her pattern. I just have kind of reduced the stitches, like for the head mainly, and so that I can get that design of it keeping its head up and stuff. And then the rest is just kind of a freehand type thing for this part here, for this tiny little one. And again, this is acrylic yarn because I'm trying to use my acrylic yarn. I might have to have one of them things, what's everybody doing, stash challenge, so I'll probably have to do that in the future. Anyways, here's another one. I've reduced the amount of rounds on this, and the same on here. And then I used I think this is the sea turtle, so I did give it a tail. This one has a tiny little tail right there, but so that's another one, and everything is embroidered on. The eyes on the little bears are as well embroidered, so I'm kind of pleased with that. There's no plastic on these things. So the turtle and the bear both are hand embroidered. Okay, moving on. These are mini octos. They just happen to pop up on my stream on YouTube. I cannot remember who it was. Oh, Chapo, something like that. And they're on YouTube. I just still need to add the little pink cheeks on it. And again, they're acrylic. They're just real cute. I like them, so I made 2 of them, and probably make some more as I go along. Okay, and then the next thing I made was these scrunchies. It was a new pattern that I'd never seen before. I don't know if it's new. I don't know if the tutorial is that new or what, but anyways, it is a pattern by Ninjini Handmade, and it is a scrunchie, kitty scrunchie. So it doesn't call for eyes, but I put eyes on it, and I think you just put it over your pony, you know, your hair pony, and then it does have a band in it in case, I guess, you want to twist it, but it looks pretty good. I tried one on. This one doesn't have the eyes, and then this one does. So yep, I made 3 of these, and again, this pattern is by Ninjini Handmade. So anyways, and she's on YouTube, and I will put all that information in my description below, so you can look for that. Okay, continuing on with the crochet process, I was attempting some sugar skulls, and it's kind of hard to find them to you know, get a sugar skull to look like a sugar skull. So I did find a pattern by Great Wings DIY, and she's on YouTube, and this was her pattern. It came out a little bit too small for me. I guess a keychain would work for that as well, but anyways, that is how it came out. Now what I used on this, now this product, I would say it's, you know, for 10 plus, you know, kids 10 and up. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody else, because I used buttons, flower buttons that I have. I have a lot of arts and crafts stuff that I need to get rid of, and so I used it for that. So anyways, I was looking at this pattern, and I said I want it a little bit bigger, so maybe in the future I can make more to hang from the mirror. So I did. I went ahead and used this pattern, but I doubled it up, and I came up with this one. So this is a bigger little version. Came out a little wonky here, but hey, it still works, whatever. And the thing is the only reason it looks like that is because I took some yarn and sucked this in so it could look more defined as a skull, you know, sunken in. Everything on here this is buttons again. The deco up here is glow-in-the-dark paint. I love glow-in-the-dark paint, and this is I don't think it's Tulip, it's some other brand. I'll put it down below. I had purchased that through Amazon here not too long ago. So yeah, and like I said, I just doubled it up a little bit more, sunk in the sides, and then just decorated it and put this little pink yarn on it, and at night it looks fabulous. So if I get a I'll take a shot of it at glowing in the dark, and I'll link it up here, or you know, post it up here. So anyways, those are my two little sugar skulls. I went back and I did the same thing with that, put some yarn through the side to sink it in and to give it more of a defined skull looking thing. So anyways, that's all the crocheting I've done. My hands sometimes just get tired of the crocheting, and the only reason I've been doing some of these tiny little things is because everything I've been seeing is just a repetitive thing. You know, the cats, the dogs, the turtles, you know, everything is pretty much the same. I do have plush yarn. I have quite a bit of plush yarn. I won't utilize that because I don't want to waste my plush yarn on repetitive items. You know, you do the little pigs and you do the cats and the dogs and everything, and those tiny little things, they to me sometimes just look like a blob of yarn with eyes and pom-poms on the end, you know, even though they're baubles. But so it just gets kind of monotonous to see that. You know, I wish there was some different creativity from these wonderful creators out there, instead of just the same old blobby looking things. I consider them that. I don't have to make them, and I don't, you know, to each their own. And so anyways, with that being said, I decided to veer off and try a little bit more of the arts and crafts things. So I seen these items here that I'm going to show are from Pinterest. Some of the Pinterest things on there don't have a specific name of who makes them per se. They're just in a picture with no name really to me. You know, I don't know if people just post it and go on their way. But anyways, hold on. And they, so I just go out to Pinterest every once in a while and look for something creative, some crochet patterns too, just to see something different. So anyways, with that being said, and going into the arts and crafts now, don't judge me. I'm not that good. at it. I just try my hands at it. So the first thing I'm going to show is this little kitty cat. Well, it's supposed to be a kitty cat, but you know what it is. It looks like a little kitten anyways. So this is supposed to be made out of, I think, clay. I don't fool with clay. So I thought, you know, I have a lot of this material that I want to use up, and I thought, oh, I'll just make it with that. So it kind of, you know, helps it a little bit to make it look kind of furry here around the sides. And I just used the little pattern that it had out there and made a little template, and then I traced it on the material and came up with that. So that's a little kitty cat. Then I made, you know, I like I won't say that it's spooky stuff. I just like the supernatural. I like the voodoo dolls. I like the little, you know, the little sugar skulls and stuff. I like stuff like that. Okay, I did forget to add one more thing, and this is very colorful, but I was just using up yarn again, like I said, and I did make this. It's a little container and has a lid, and the flower pattern is by HookedbyRobineat. So yeah, and then I added some little extras in between, but that is my crazy container. It's not really crazy, it's just a container. Anyways, thank you. Okay, well, I'll start over. My dang phone ran out of storage. I don't know what you folks use out there for doing your videos. I use my phone, and then it runs out of storage. So anyways, I was going in from crocheting into arts and crafts. So I'm going to be blah, blah, blah quick and get to it. So here's the next little thing I made. Yes, this is like a Day of the Dead type thing. And again, I would recommend this only for some kind of a, you know, like 10 plus to have. And these are beads, buttons, everything on it, on top of the buttons, and everything around it else is glow in the dark. That's what the back looks like. And that. So I found it's not very squishy, but good enough for that. Anyways, that is that one. And I don't have pattern person, whatever. They just had a template out there, and I had a freehand draw it. That's why it looks like this. The hands should be a little bit longer, but oh well. And so this is out off of Pinterest. Then I made these little felt dollies. There's that one. It's got beads on it. That's the back of her hair. Isn't she cute? I thought it was cute. And I did freehand all this. This was, I've seen some stuff on Pinterest. I just have a little bit of pink, gray, black felt that I used. So I made her. I made him. It looks like a scarecrow, but still, I made him. Little beads. All hand sewn. I guess I could have used my sewing machine. Made him a little hat. And then this one. Oh, isn't she just cute? I love her hair. And they just happened to kind of catch on right here when I put her hands there on that material. So that's what she looks like. That's the back. So anyways, yep, I got bored and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do some arts and crafts. So I made these little cuties like that. And then I made a crazy one with the bead. right here, which can, I guess, could look like a flower. But that's that one. And this one is with yarn. I crocheted that, just freehanded it. So many stitches down, and it's like 10 across here, and then just decreased and stuff. But I freehanded the face. Like I said, I'm not very good at it, but I gave it my best shot. So anyways, that is what I've been up to. Okay, well, with that being said, I am going to cut it off right here because I don't want to run out of storage. So again, I would like to thank everyone who is coming back and watching my craziness. And again, like I said, I think I'm 24 subscribers from hitting 200. So let's give it a go and see if I can get 200 before July 4th. Let's say that. Anyways, thank you, my current subscribers. And again, if you're new, welcome. I appreciate everything. Make sure you give me a like, share, comment, and again, let me know what kind of video equipment you use and editing and stuff. Maybe I can look into getting something. So for now, Latisha with Blue Heart Crochet. I shall talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.